Hello, Marijuana Nation. Producer and host Shay Gunther here with the first official and scripted show since the country started going on lockdown a little more than 2 weeks ago. If you've been listening over that time, you know that I've been deviating from a regular news reporting schedule, mostly to react, respond, and admittedly freak out to the here and now of the pandemic. The plan is to move back into full-time news reporting, but it's been a bit of a struggle to figure out exactly how, given the severity of the pandemic. Another complicating fact over the last week or so is the fact that I'm experiencing some mild symptoms of the virus myself, which means that I'm also on full-time lockdown from my family for the next 2 weeks. Thankfully, the symptoms are mild so far, and I hope they stay that way, but I do have a bit of a sore throat, so it makes it more difficult to speak. In recognition of that, I'm going to ease into the news today with just the top 3 headlines in legal cannabis. I apologize for the truncated show, and will be doing all I can to work back to full operations. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Tuesday, March 31st, 2020, and you're tuned in to episode 905 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Kyle Yeager has today's top headline with a pickup of news out of New York State, where a draft budget proposal for next year does not include marijuana legalization, as was expected in the days before the coronavirus outbreak. New York State lawmakers face the challenge of passing a budget bill in the midst of the greatest health pandemic in more than 100 years, and Governor Andrew Cuomo has made it clear that he does not want to see any provisions that are controversial and need of copious amounts of time to work out. Given the life and death nature of what we're facing with the coronavirus, the pause seems a prudent one. Swing over to Kyle's story to read more. Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker is being pressed to reconsider his decision to allow medical marijuana dispensaries to remain open during the pandemic, but not adult use shops. Adult use dispensary operators, industry watchers, and some regulators were disappointed when Governor Baker decided last week to exclude their businesses from the list of essential operations. Recently, Governor Baker has been lobbied to allow adult use stores to remain open by a group of 12 state lawmakers who wrote a letter pointing out that if liquor stores were deemed essential, adult use dispensaries should be too. Another group asking Baker to back off on adult use includes healthcare officials and Massachusetts Cannabis Control Board Commissioner Shalene Title. Our final story on this shortened show is a piece by Chris Moore over Mary Jane, pointing out that one unintended consequence of the disastrous lack of planning by the Trump administration is a possible halt to legal cannabis operations because growers won't have enough personal protective equipment, or PPE as it's now well known, to grow and harvest marijuana. Besides the healthcare industry, legal cannabis also uses supplies like N95 masks and gloves, all of which is in short supply as it's needed to keep people alive in hospitals. The shortage of isopropyl alcohol could also prove problematic as it's used in cannabis testing. I think this story is a good hint of what's to come in terms of ways we probably didn't think that the pandemic would affect things. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, MGA Today Media, and to our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes our show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today. And stay safe.
One take, Shay. One take.